Okay, I want to make a video about the agenda to try to undermine people's confidence in themselves. And what made me want to make this video is that I'm using Microsoft Windows on my computer, and there are certain things that I don't like that Microsoft does, that Microsoft Windows does. I don't like it. The way it's designed, I think, is very, very poor. So there are certain settings I want to tweak and adjust which fall under what they call accessibility. Now this I find to be a subtle means of eroding people's self-confidence, especially as Microsoft is the leading operating system on the planet. So they get as many people affected by this as possible. Okay? Now you could argue, oh well, they're just designing it for the lowest common denominator so that everyone can use it. No, they're not. That's not the reason. That's the excuse, but that's not actually the sentiment behind it. The idea is to try to make as many people on this planet feel as though they have something wrong with them as possible, so as to undermine their confidence in themselves. Okay, so there are settings I want to use under the accessibility heading which shouldn't be there. They shouldn't be under accessibility at all. They're just settings. But they're stuffed under the heading accessibility so that anyone who wants to tweak them, oh, there's something wrong with you. Oh, you want to change the setting. Oh, yeah? You've seen that around you in the world at large. This idea that there's always something wrong with everybody, yeah? Everyone's got a disorder of some kind. And you can see it everywhere. People are being diagnosed left, right and centre. Kids who have nothing wrong with them are being diagnosed with this and that and the other. Right? The idea is to undermine as many people's self-confidence as possible. And frankly, behind this is communism. Oh, that's far-fetched. No, not at all. Not at all. Because communism relies upon people being dependent upon the state. Now, they used to do it at the end of a gun. But they've decided, no, that doesn't work anymore. What we'll do is we'll just try to undermine everyone and weaken them to the point where they're just dependent. The same with infantilization nowadays. Everywhere you see it. Adverts are always full of infantilizing, childish terminology and imagery. If we psychologically treat people like children, they'll behave like children. No, they won't. You will just irritate people. But this is the thing. These communist-minded people have infiltrated organs of state, and they've infiltrated, and they've set up institutions which are supposedly in society's interest, but are actually eroding society. This is exactly what's going on. Okay, if you can see it, it's plain as day. The idea is to demoralize people and undermine them, and it's a psychological warfare technique. So our own state is being used against us. These institutions have been put in place to work against the average person. Or not the average person, like everybody. Every single person. To try to make as many people feel as though there's something wrong with them as possible. And big businesses are at the table on this. We know that the heads of the biggest businesses get tapped on the shoulder, and they're invited, and they sit at conferences where this sort of nonsense is discussed. It's obvious. You can pretend it isn't true. You can try and distract yourself, which is another tactic of theirs. Oh, go and watch your Netflix. Go and watch your whatever mainstream media you're stuffing into your face. Or you can switch on and realise, hang on, there's a problem. Accessibility. The implication is there's something wrong with you if you're using that setting. It's dressed up as, yay, it's all for the people who are disabled. No, they're trying to imply that every single person has something wrong with them. They're trying to undermine people's confidence. It's a disgusting disgrace in society that's occurred, and I can see it, and I know lots and lots of other people can see it too. What's the answer? Well, first of all, being aware of it. Second of all, a person has to then realise, okay, there is a problem and it needs solving. then they need to really use their own brain to come up with an idea to solve it. The next step is to implement that idea. People have to actually commit of themselves to being part of the solution to this problem. Now, people who do so are labeled conspiracy theorists or whatever, right? To try and demoralize them, but it won't work. And some people don't really know what's going on, but they get caught up in that bandwagon, and then they get pointed at and say, "Oh yeah, look, there's a conspiracy nut," and those are the people who unfortunately don't really know what the hell's going on. But the people who do just look at the whole thing and they're like, "Yeah, this is a load of garbage. It has to be fixed." And there's lots of people like that. Intelligent people who won't have this nonsense. Now, this is the world we live in at the moment. It wasn't always this way. It happened just about a little way after the turn of the century. This rot started to be implemented. And it's all based on lies. It's all based on tactics and techniques, right? Think about this, right? There's an author called Stephen Covey, or Covey, and he wrote a book called The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. And in that book, he talks about the difference between the personality ethic and the character ethic. The personality ethic is based upon a fraudulent persona that people put out there to try and appear a certain way. It's the archetypal salesman, who tries to be flash and blah blah blah. And then he says, well, actually, you should be headed for the character ethic, whereby you are actually, there's some substance to you. You actually are interested in the customer, for example. So we're stuck. We're not stuck. We're sitting at the moment observing what is a wholesale personality ethic nonsense. It's all shallow, skin deep, superficial lies, and that's what people are getting stuffed in their faces through their massive televisions nowadays. The bigger the television, the more nonsense that these people think that they can stuff into people's heads. They are absolutely convinced that they can control the world through diversion, demoralization, and distraction. They're convinced and they're utterly committed to it, but it won't ever work. I call it cotton wool communism, because that's what it is. The idea is to try and ruin everything so that nothing works and nothing can be relied upon. It's disgusting. And the result is what you see around you. Now, we have to get some really serious thinking done and acting done to fix this, because it can be repaired. It's just that there are people actively trying to destroy. Now, the more they get exposed, the better we do, because this is a war, essentially. And we have to, unfortunately, get tough. We've been lured or lulled into a sense of false well-being. Everything's done for you. Don't worry about that. Blah, 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 blah. But you've got to wake up from that. You've got to take life seriously. It's a serious business. And these people are taking it seriously. On the face of it, they're all softly, softly, but they're not softly, softly underneath at all. They're nasty. And they don't want the best for people. All they want is blanket control. And that they will do it in the socialist, communist way. That's what it will amount to. And it's slowly creeping, and people tend... some people might not really see it and notice it, but it's happening. And these are all elements of it. Subtle little undermining things. Like there are people that you'd probably know, right? Who make little sly, nasty, undermining comments, which are designed to try to undermine the person that's on the receiving end of those comments. That is the ethic of these people who are doing this. Trying to undermine other people because they're weak. They are ultimately the weakest, scummiest people on the planet who are behind this. And they know they can't win by themselves. They can't. So their focus is upon trying to make other people lose. That's the whole difference here. Trying to undermine them. Oh, you're weak. Oh, you've got something wrong with you. Oh, there's something, blah blah blah. That sort of attitude. How disgusting. Imagine that. Someone who's so weak and so unable to find anything within them worthwhile that they have to focus their energy on undermining others. How disgusting. And that's what these people are. And they know it. They know it and they hate it. But they don't know any other way. They're scared. So all we have to do to win is to just be our best. Just be our best. So be your best. And you can defeat these scumbags. It might sound like a silly example, right? But I've used it before. If you remember Wacky Racers, Dick Dastardly would never try and win under his own steam. His energy was all focused upon trying to make other people lose. Okay? His energy was put into trying to make other people lose. He probably could have won by himself if he'd tried. I've got a funny feeling there was an episode once where he did, and he was like really gutted that he won. Because he won legitimately or something like, I don't know. But the point is that these people's focus is on trying to undermine other people. What a mess. So if you've got like an image of the world and you've got people who are actively trying to undermine other people all the time, that's the source of the problems that we have in this world. So yes, you can observe who these people are. If you've got your head screwed on, you can find out who they are. I know exactly who they are. I know why they're doing it. I know their backgrounds, etc, etc, etc. But you don't need to focus on them, because that's their game. Focus on yourself. Focus upon making yourself great. Focus upon doing what's right for you. Maximising yourself. Don't focus upon being negative to other people, and don't get distracted by the filth that these people are putting out there. Okay? Things that used to work fine have been ruined by these people. Excuse me. I'll even go so far as to say this. The cough I have at the moment, I'm fairly well convinced it's another expression of this COVID nonsense, right? Imagine this. A people so devoted to other people's destruction that they wanted to engineer... Oh, here comes a conspiracy theory. Get out of town, right? The fact is, this COVID thing was genetically engineered. It didn't jump to humans from bats, okay? The fact is, this is utterly provable, okay? So, it was genetically engineered, and whether it was released on purpose or it escaped, who knows? Who cares? The fact is that it was designed to try to... It was a virus that was designed to try to, I think, potentially, and it was released, undermine the population of the world. For whatever the ends that they came up with it for. And I think it was most likely the same folk who did that who are doing all the rest of this other nasty stuff. That doesn't mean that people are not capable of doing bad things off their own bat. But there's an agenda afoot, a specific, big, worldwide agenda afoot with these particular people. You have to be aware of it. So I get sick and tired of it. All I'm trying to do is use my computer, and then I've got to jump through these stupid hoops. Oh, accessibility. Oh, you want to change a setting. Oh, there's something wrong with you. Yeah? Oh, you want to do this. There's something wrong with you. Yeah? And that's companies are doing this now. I wanted to call my car insurer the other day, and they're like, we don't offer a phone line for everyone, only for people who have special needs. So I called it. I said, I don't have any special needs, but I do need to speak to you on the phone. Oh, well, this number's don't... No. I'll speak to you on this phone, and there's nothing wrong. Thank you very much. How insulting. This nasty, sneaky, snide behaviour has crept into everywhere. Anyway, we've got to get rid of it. It will be gotten rid of. If you know what I'm talking about, which you probably do, you're not alone. I see it too.